Okay, today we're here with Stoi Galindez from Stoi's Design Co. Stoi, thank you for sitting down with us
Yes,
today.
anytime.
We look forward to learning more about your upcoming fashion event, new collections, and the rebranding of Maison de Stoi. First up, please remind our audience and everyone that's watching today how you started and why you're here in Colombia.
So I started when I lived in LA. When I started it was actually Stoi's Atelier, and it was only just supposed to be like one thing. And when over the time, just moving different places, it just kind of grew, and I wanted to change a few things of it. But a lot of it changed when I moved here. So when I moved here in 2018, oh my gosh, it was really hard because first of all, I didn't know they had a fashion scene or anything that had to do with fashion, music, and art. But then after meeting the owner of a space that I had at the time, it was 2 years after we moved here, and then I moved into that space, and that kind of changed. I started meeting a bunch of creative people, and I was more comfortable staying here because after 2 years I was ready to go.
Yeah.
So when I moved into the studio space that I had, my company, it kind of grew more than what it is now. But then, fast forward this year, I decided to kind of change some things because my brand changed. It was more than just fashion. I had already done interior designing on the side, but I wanted to add it to the business and stuff because I do sometimes use fashion fabrics with interior and vice versa. Our brands, which is, I changed Stoi's Atelier to Maison de Stoi because I've always said if I was to open like a nice size studio again, I wanted to have one name that represented all the brands that was going to be shoppable in that space. So we changed it to Maison de Stoi from Stoi's Atelier, and then Stoi's Atelier would also have like a clothing brand itself as well. So I was like, I want to change the name to something that was more meaningful and change it to a name that was my grandmother, so it's Le Cœur d'Ella, which means Ella's heart. And so that is mainly all feminine designs. And then I want to say about 4 years ago, we started a brand for androgynous, so for my wife. She's an androgynous woman, and so I wanted something that kind of represents, being androgynous. Some people feel like, okay, if you are a lesbian and you're dominant, you're just gonna dress like a man, but that's not the case. You mix the two, you're comfortable,
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah, moving into your more recent designs and products and things like that, can you tell us more about your upcoming fashion event, Jour de la Mode?
So I started doing Jour de la Mode about 3 years ago, and it's sad because this is my second one, and I think what it was because every time we came down to planning it, it was not adding right. It just wasn't adding up together. So I was like, okay, now we've rebranded, we've taken some time away, we've moved away, came back. And so I was like, let's just go ahead and pick back up. Let's do Jour de la Mode, let's give it a second, because I have a lot of clientele that either like both or like one or the other. And so when we first did Jour de la Mode, it was really, really nice. It was in a garden over at historic Columbia Siegel's house. And it was really big because the models, they had to walk. When I tell you walk, they had to walk the garden, across the garden. It was very beautiful. And we also had kids too, like 2. And so it was very beautiful because it was the softer side of me and how I design. I don't wear color. I think I just do denim and black, or mainly all denim.
All black. The same way, yeah.
Yes. So when I design, I love to see color on other people, not me.
Yeah.
And so Jour de la Mode is like that softer side of me, so I'm really excited about it. And I'm excited about us doing part 2 of it. So, and then the collection that I'm showing, I did like a drawing on Instagram a few months ago, and I said, if you want to see any other collection from me, bring back what would it? And so a lot of people said Naked and Blush, which I showed that at Jour de la Mode, and then a collection that I showed like a year or 2 ago called Chaos. And so Naked and Blush was that softer pastel, flowers, and Chaos was just very bright and loud. So we're gonna mix the two. As women, period, we are very insecure about any and everything that we put on, where we're going. Like, we take long for a reason because we're like spazzing out sometimes, right? And I personally like to see what my models like to wear. Like, some models don't speak up because they feel like they cannot tell a designer, I don't want to wear that, because they take that off as being rude, or they take it like, oh, she's not going to book me again. And so with me, I want models to pick what they want to wear. Now, if I feel like they picked a long dress and they feel like they can walk in it, I need to see you walk in it. And then if I feel like they can't, I'm like, pick something else, you know. And it just shows what my models are comfortable in, because, you know, if you've ever watched a fashion show and like, and I mean, look at it, you can always tell if a model is not comfortable. They either have her in some shoes that are too little or too big, or she's wearing an outfit and you're like, why did they put that on her?
Yeah.
You know, so, and it lets my models have more of a voice of what they like to wear.
Yeah, that's pretty good, especially with the whole comfort aspect of it, like making sure that they know what they want and you being willing to like make sure that their voice is heard.
You know, I was in a show and I knew a model very well, and a designer changed the whole collection of what these models were going to wear. They were supposed to be wearing clothes, but he changed it to swimsuits. And these swimsuits were very tiny, and some of these girls, I felt like, were not at the age, especially now, right?
Yeah.
Should have worn that on the runway. And I was uncomfortable because I'm just like, the young model wasn't comfortable. I said, you need to call your mom. She's here. Tell her come back here.
Yeah. And
she was not having it. She was like, my daughter's not wearing that. And so with me, I'm very age conscious, you know, because we do have some of these models' parents come, you know, and if my model is like, say, from 16 to even 18, they still stay at home, I tell them, tell your parents to come, let them see what you're wearing, because I definitely don't want a parent shocked or they don't condone and they give me a call, you know, because at the end of the day, you're building a relationship with your models and also their family.
Yeah, nice. We know the runway is going to be really exciting. Can you tell us anything about the collections that are going to be shown?
So the collection is Luna Day Tea. So I showed Luna Day Tea last year in Texas, and it was fun. It was, you know, but I'm changing it. I'm doing a remix is what I call it, right? So it's going to be a mix of pastel and loud colors. It's definitely going to see, you know, very volume and lace and floral, and I like to mix things up. And then we're going to be debuting the Androgynous Soul collection, which is called Transcendence. And this one is it gives me like very Cuban style, like, you know, at the beach, or you're just hanging out and, you know, in the streets and hanging out with your friends and stuff. Like, I think for me, with men now, I'm starting to see a little more feminine side of how men dress, as I call them, hoochie daddy shorts. Absolutely love them. I mean, men were wearing these years ago, right? Yeah. So they always come back around. So I'm loving that, and I love to see the mix of, you know, especially women that are androgynous, they do a little bit of a femme and a mask, and same thing with men, you know. And I think I definitely like it with men because it shows a softer side. Well, I think my wife inspired me. I mean, I was a major tomboy as a kid too, right? But then when I got older, I was like, oh, I like those little skirts and heels, right? And then, you know, my wife getting into, you know, especially with us being together, she's gotten more into fashion. She likes to play around with prints and colors. And I've just always loved androgynous fashion, always, you know. And you know, even with me, I've never just said like, oh, you know, my collection is just for feminine women. No, you know, I have clients that are trans, and you know, I have men that like wearing dresses too, that are, you know, straight and all. And so I just at this time, I don't think any label should just be like, oh, it's just for women, it's just for men. It's just to be whoever wants to buy it.
Yeah, clothes are clothes.
Know, clothes are clothes, you know. And, you know, I have two male models that I love to work with, and one, he's super funny because the last show he did with me, he was like, what am I wearing? And he was so open to it, and the pieces that I had him wear, it just looked so good to him. Like, I don't see him actually going to my website and saying, hey, I want to buy that, but it looked good on him, and he was open to it. So, you know, and I always ask my models, like, what do you don't want to wear? What do you do like to wear? So when it comes to seeing, you know, a masculine guy wear a dress and it doesn't look femme on him, I like that, and vice versa as well. So
yeah. your brand is well known for its quality and its craftsmanship. How come you chose to start rebranding now?
I think as you grow, I've been doing this for so long, sometimes you just have to take a step back and look what's been going wrong and what's been going right, and try to, meet in the middle and make it better and make it work.
Yeah.
So that's the main reason why I did it. And, with me, it's a small team, right? Mm-hmm. And of course I want to be up there like, Alexander McQueen brand is and stuff, because that's my favorite. But me, I think, I prefer to have a small team, right? And me, I'm not trustworthy when it comes to my designs, because I've had people on my team. When I lived in LA, I had a huge team, had a great team, but I had someone on my team that was also stealing my designs, and so with me, it's a trust issue. Yeah. Like, I would love to have an assistant who I can teach and, be an apprentice and stuff like that, but it's like a trust thing. So, my team is always like, you got to get someone else, because I am fast and accurate. Once I know what I'm designing, I will get it out and I'm done. And that's another thing. I don't do small, medium, and large. So I don't need a factory itself. Yeah. Because as women, we don't want to go anywhere and see another one wearing it. I mean, how many times do you see it now on the runway or at these red carpets? Somebody who wore better. I don't want that.
Yeah, exactly. Keep it unique.
Yes, and keep it exclusive as well.
Yeah. If someone was interested in purchasing one of these unique custom designs of yours, how would they go about doing that?
On my website. And sometimes I'll create something because I just had all this extra fabric. I'll create it and I'll email my clients and see who wants it or who can fit it, and if they want me to make it into their size, I will. And with me, like, I have clients who bought, certain dresses, and sometimes their friends will be like, oh, I want that dress in a different color. I won't do it. And if I do it, I contact my client first.
So it's a very personal process.
It's very personal, yes.
Yes. Yeah, and so in addition to that, like, how would they go about, I guess, contacting you directly? Is it through the website? Or
it's through the website. I'm at the point where I don't want people so much contacting me directly, because I think they get some clients, even models, they get so comfortable with me, and I love that, but it needs to go through someone, because I'm like busy right now, and so it helps with me keeping a schedule. It helps me stay on tact. It's definitely my designs, a lot of things, other little things I forget too, and I'm like, I feel like I'm a good designer, but I think sometimes I'm like a bad businesswoman when it comes to logistics. Yeah. So, and that's just me being in my own little world too. Yeah.
Well, before we go ahead and wrap up, is there anything else that you want to go ahead and share? Anything, plans for the future for the company, anything like that?
I think with me, I definitely, we had a panel one time, and it was basically like an information panel from mental health to hair and makeup, and to model coaches, and just what models should do, what they shouldn't do, on social media and stuff like that. And we definitely want to do another one, and I want to start, my way of saying thank you to the people who have helped me get where I am here, and even with the models, because at the end of the day, a lot of people forget us designers, we cannot, we can do the whole AI, but I'm not doing that. Yeah. I'm very old school when it comes to my stuff. I don't even use the computer to come up with my sketches. I do everything by hand. So I definitely want to start doing maybe a brunch or something, just to say thank you, just something to say, because a lot of models, they don't get that, and I would definitely want to do another fun story of what we were talking about earlier about rich. Yeah. I ain't gonna say the word on camera, but you know what I mean. I want to do more storytelling photo shoots. That is my thing. Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you again, Stoi, for chatting with us, and a big thank you to Hotel Trundle for letting us use their lobby. Yes. It's very nice. It was a perfect setting to do this interview.
Thank you.
So yeah, thank you. It was nice. It was nice talking to you.
Thanks for wearing your sunglasses with me.
I know, we look so good.